my guest today, Josh Alba. Hello, how are you today?
Great. How are you?
I'm very good, man.
I love
I
the
appreciate.
drums. I'm about to start beating my stomach right now just to jam with you.
All right, let's make music.
Okay.
Yep,
Banger.
spontaneity.
100% banger.
Yeah, it's top of the pops.
I love that.
So I love the idea that you have some connection to the comedy world and the pro wrestling world, and those things fascinate the hell out of me. And I'm sure anybody who listens to the show or anybody who's caught an episode of this show, if this is the first time you're joining me, cool. You know that those are two things that are very near and dear to my heart. So
hmm
I'd like to just kind of go right away. Hey, why don't you give me some of your background? I know that sounds very like cliche podcaster goes, tell us a little bit about yourself. That's not really what
Yeah.
I do. But yes, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, originally, first and foremost, I've gotten to stand-up comedy first.
Mhm.
It's been doing it, I'll say on and off because there was a little break for a few years, but since 2010,
Mhm.
that's when I started getting into it. And as far as pro wrestling goes, I mean, I've always been a fan, but then I got more involved maybe almost 3 years ago. I started doing color commentary
Mhm.
for Shadow Wrestling Alliance. And then also I would do pretty much backstage analyst interview guy, which I'm still new. I've done only a couple of those, but like those are fun to me. Like I love those. Like especially color commentary, you get to just, learn a lot in a whole world that you think is familiar but you don't. So
So,
it's been pretty cool.
can you shout out the name one more time of the promotion? Shadow, you said?
Shadow Wrestling Alliance. Yep, the last show you can see there was a joint show with Bree Combination Wrestling that we did in May. That's on Title Fight Network.
Okay.
So it's been a while. I've been taking a little mental break. We'll get into that later.
Recombination is that's the company that Darius is the champion
Yes.
for, right?
Yes. There was a joint show, and so it was along their broadcasters as well as me and Ray Sanchez.
Okay,
So
nice,
we did a few matches. They did a few matches.
cool,
Yeah, it
cool,
was a good time.
very cool, very cool. So in the breaks that you took from stand up, uh, were how long were those breaks in between? Like, because sometimes I've also taken breaks, but I don't like. I've never not like like I've taken like a year or something here
Yeah.
and there, but like
hmm
I've never not been like, yeah, I'm still working on material and I'm still like grinding at it. Like since
Yeah.
2008 was the first mic I did. I've never been like all the way serious. I'm doing this like this is what I'm gonna be like grinding it at open mics every night. I don't possess
Right.
that desire to go into the city and like bounce around. That's never been for me.
Yeah. No, 100%. It's pretty insane to even like do that on the regular. Beginning of my career as far as stand-up goes, I was doing that because luckily I started in New York City. So
Mhm.
like a city like New York, you can actually it's still hard, but it's very easy to like move around Manhattan and go to
Mhm.
mic after mic and show and stuff like that. And that in the beginning, that would be what you would do to like, get your name out there and obviously get better at what you do. Um, Honestly, like, when it comes to stand up, a lot of us kind of embrace the crazy, which is good and bad, I would say. My break was around 2016, and I didn't do any kind of real show until right before COVID. So,
Okay.
like January of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a time to come back.
Yeah, right? I was like, everybody's excited, like, Josh is doing stand up again. Boom. Never mind. And then
I
they
did.
started the Zoom shows. And I was like, me personally, I'll wait.
Did you not do any of those?
I did a couple, but it's just not the same,
I did
you
one or two.
know?
They were
Yeah.
those were tough. Those are
Hmm.
very tough.
Yeah.
But I mean the pros of it, as far as like being able to have guests via webcam, remote, uh, it opened up the podcast a lot and changed what the podcast was, and the availability for things. Then didn't really have I didn't really have a streaming platform before. I didn't really have the ability to go like I only had like studio space that I'd only be at on Mondays, and people would have to come to Langhorne, and it would be a whole process. I'm like, all right, well now anybody can do anything.
Yeah. I remember way back before COVID, Lisa Harmon, great stand-up comedian. She recently passed away. She would have a open mic called Lisa's Clubhouse, and she was doing a trial run of doing the open mic on a webcam, like just from home. So,
Mhm.
like from what I remember, like she was one of the first people to actually try to do that before COVID even started.
Right.
And yeah, no, I feel like with all of us staying at home and most of us are just watching things on our phone or on a computer, like it's stepped up programs like this to make it more entertaining, more features, and come up with stuff which, fast forward to now, works out for everybody, especially it makes it feel like the boom. The good thing about COVID is kind of it makes it a lot easier to do things for yourself to grow as far as your audience goes, just from your phone,
Mhm. Right.
so you can
Well,
do
like
anything from your phone.
stars are made through cell phone screens now. Like you don't
Yep.
only have to be on television. You don't only have to be on the radio. Like you can have an outlet just by being an influencer, and that
Yep.
has kind of changed the aspect and the goals of most uh, kids. Most of the youth is like they don't want to be firemen and police officers and what other doctors. They don't want to do any of that stuff. They just want to be influencers, and I mean they can be YouTubers and make way more money than they could make at any of those careers.
Yeah. It's like, that kid that wanted to start a channel when they were 4? Well, yeah, they grown up to be that now. It's kind of, I mean, it's good for them, but also some of it's a little weird. I mean, I'm pretty sure you might agree. Like, it also kind of hurts stand up in a way. Because, like, yes, the people on the internet find them funny on the internet for like the 30 seconds that they're looking at them on the phone, but then they also scroll and move on.
Mhm.
Now to convert that into paying a ticket to sit in an actual place to watch them perform, it ain't the same thing.
Well, I think
Compared to
there's the aspect brought into it that people think by heckling it's going to contribute to the show as well. That
yes,
that
mm-hmm,
other comedians have said like, oh, there's these these Vine stars have ruined comedy, or
yeah.
social media stars have ruined. Like I just dated myself by saying Vine stars.
I was like, yeah. I mean, that was
Like
the beginning of it. I
I was
remember
10
Vine.
years
That was great.
old. Yeah.
I was gonna say that as far as that goes, like, I won't say it ruined it, but it definitely does hurt it when, like, everyone who's when I have to go back, if you host a comedy show and you ask people who's here ever been to a comedy show, 90% of them are gonna say no.
Right.
So, and that's a lot of the time, unless they love that comedy club or something.
Mhm.
And when you see these reels on Instagram, the favorite thing people love to watch is like the interaction, the heckling, the crowd work stuff. Which, don't get me wrong, like, it's great and it's interesting, but then they assume that's what stand up comedy is. It's for me to talk and then you respond to me. And it's like, no, that's not how that is at all. But it's kind of like turned into something else for some people. I'm not going to say everyone, but it's just,
Well, and
yeah.
also on the inside track of it, that like not no audience just is going to see this and know it. The inside of it is they can put that material out, they can put that content out, and then not have burnt out their material. They can still
Yep.
use their material for a special later on.
Hmm.
But well, like when Matt Rife came out with this special, and this material was not as good as the crowd work stuff that he puts out online,
Yeah.
it can backfire. it can backfire sometimes.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, God bless them.
I do I do think when you were saying about how you were saying about uh, people not coming to shows previously, like people never being at comedy shows. I
Yeah.
I've taken that and I've applied that to pro wrestling. But like a long time ago, I came up with this thought. I was saying, look around at a pro wrestling event. How many of those people do you think have never been to a live pro wrestling event? How many of those people are
Hmm.
already not really fans of pro wrestling and are just there because their friends asked them to be there? Like, you have to make fans out of those people. Like, you have to make those people returning customers. We go like
Hmm.
they already have their idea set on like what they think going to a live pro wrestling event is going to be and how like phony they think it's going to be or how like stompy or however
Yeah.
and like you have to apply that to the psychology of your match and you have to apply that to like kind of like what impact you're going to make on these people like because they're going to remember it, they're going to remember
Yeah.
what they saw if that was the first time they've ever been there or if like they were
Hmm.
teetering on whether they were ever going to come back and you did a thing that completely exposed it, you completely ruined the business for them.
Yeah. I will say with comedy, I have a fun story. There was a venue I was performing at. I used to perform at there regularly, and I was saying earlier, where I was like 90% never been, and then there's like maybe a few people who've been before. There was this one guy I saw every time I did a show there, in like the front row in the corner, same person whatsoever. So like it was just like, yeah, cool, like I'm having fun, but this one guy's really bothering me because he's seen these jokes already. So like he was just having like his arms crossed and just stare at me after like he liked me the first time, but then he was just like, and I was just like, yeah, well, you ruined it for yourself. Stop coming so much. Like I don't know what to tell you. you
Well,
know?
that's the danger you run when you like see the same open micers doing the same open mic material. Like that's
Yep.
the danger, the risk you run when you attend lots of open mics.
Yep.
You're just gonna continue to hear the same hacky material you've already heard, or if not hacky, it's just stuff that's being worked out, like stuff
Yeah.
that isn't fully formed the way it's gonna get fully formed as they continue to chop away at the stone, and carve
Yeah.
away at the bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Josh, you've probably been on a lot of podcasts. I know at one point you had your own podcast.
Yep.
You've probably been interviewed a bunch. Uh, what's the thing that you've never been asked in an interview that you've wanted to be asked and never have been?
What's my favorite uncrustable flavor? That's one. I'm a big uncrustable guy.
Mm.
Yeah, no. That's
Well,
hard to
what is your
say.
favorite flavor? Do you like strawberry or do you like grape?
There's great. There's no other answer. I believe. They have all the other flavors. It's cool. It's cute. Right now I'm trying this berry blast.
Oh yeah.
But it's not great. I know it's
Uh,
not great. So it's like, yeah, it's fine. It does the job. But
Make America grape again.
exactly. No, I haven't really. I kind of a hard question. I don't really know. Depends on what. Yeah, I'm like pretty stumped. so, um, yeah, I'm gonna stop playing with this. I'm
So
gonna wait till later.
So funny story, and on my old wrestling podcast, it's like a panel show, a bunch of like comedians and like funny personalities, and we would talk
Yeah.
about and a bunch of wrestling people, a bunch of wrestlers. We were talking about doing extra work in the WWE, and
Mm,
all leading up to when I did it, like people were like, you got eyes on you the whole time. You got eyes on you the whole time. You can't do this, you can't do that. Don't spend too much time in catering. Don't eat too much food. Don't do like everybody was like, they're watching you. Don't do this. They're watching you. Don't do that. and I kept. They had this craft service table in the back, and
Mm.
and on the craft service table was a lot of uncrustables. There was lots of uncrustables, and
Ooh.
I was telling the story about how I kept like sneaking uncrustables because they were like, "Don't spend too much time in catering." Like that was the rule that people kept telling me, which I don't even know if that's even a thing that any WWE officials even. This guy's in catering for way too long, but but
I'm yeah,
so
I'm gonna say right now, the goal for me is WWE catering. Not WWE, not any job at WWE. Anywhere where I could be in catering. I do not care if I come back. I am saying this right now. I will stay there as long as I can until they kick me out.
manifestation. It's on the
Yes, that's all
record.
I care. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm good with that. You guys can
Give
have fun in Saudi Arabia. I'm good. I'm good in the next to the grill.
Give,
So,
give me in catering once in Hershey, PA, on a Raw, random Raw, maybe a
yep.
house show, maybe a house show. Be fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But but uh, then then they took a clip from the episode and they made it as part of the intro of the show where I said uncrustables, don't mind if I do, and that was like the part of the intro to the whole show. But
I gotta see
sometimes.
this. That's awesome.
So when you said Uncrustables, I was like, oh, I wonder if he listened to the show before and knew that.
That's awesome. I gotta definitely see that.
But I forget. It went into like this big long bit because we had another restaurant who had just done extra work with WWE at the same time too. He was like, "You better preserve yourself." He was making a bunch of jelly and jam uh, references, puns, and stuff. Yeah, man. I mean,
That's
I
great.
guess my wrestling career peaked when I was a teenager. Uh, I never, I never. Whenever anybody says like they saw anything of mine, they're like, "Oh yeah, like I watched this thing you did." I'm like, "Yeah, I was 19 when that happened." Like, I've done a lot of stuff since then. I'm an adult now, all the way adult. I've
Nice.
been wrestling my entire adult life, and they bring up stuff from when I was still a child. It's pretty
That's
great.
great. That's awesome. I haven't done. Yeah, nobody brings anything up I've done. This the
The ceiling.
yeah. I feel like so far the coolest thing I've done was I did an interview with Paul London.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was the funnest interview I've ever done because I love that guy. He's insane. It's so funny. Um, he when I met him, he was like, "You're a comedian." It's like, man, I have so much respect for comedians. It's so hard, blah 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 blah. But then he just became the funniest guy there. You know, and I was like, "This guy's great. Like, what the fuck you mean me? Like, you're fucking funny." And then we did an interview, and he just talked about like he's happy he didn't shit his pants, and it was great. It was pretty awesome.
Dude, his shoot interview, the it was a high spots shoot interview. Him and Brian Kendrick. Did you ever watch that?
No,
Oh,
I
uh,
gotta see that. That's
point
interesting.
making a point to watch Brian Kendrick and Paul London's shoot interview on High Spots. It's
Okay.
probably on YouTube. There's some parts on there that are really interesting. Really, they talked about Chris Benoit, and it
Mm,
was it was a time. I think I'm going to rewatch it now.
yeah.
But I had like the burnt DVDs of it because
Hmm.
it's pretty old.
I love that. I have a fun DVD wrestling story actually. Uh, so this is in the MySpace days. You know how you knew a wrestler's profile was legit? Like you just knew, right? There was a bunch of fakes, but you know who was like legit.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah,
they had like
WWF
y-
people.
yeah, or like ECW people. Um, so I had New Jack as a friend on MySpace.
But yeah,
Yeah, legit him. I made sure, like, you could just tell, like, the ones with the most friends. It's like they post like personal photos and stuff like that. Um, so I had him as a friend, and I sent him as a message when I was a kid. I was like, you're awesome. Thank you for everything you do. Blah 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 blah. And then he replied to me. He said, "What's your address?"
Mm.
Now, any kid should not give a man on the internet your mailing address, but
What?
I did because this was New Jack, which was
Mm.
even more stupid in a way if you think about it.
Merch?
Huh?
They sent you some merch?
He sent me two DVDs. He autographed both of them. He sent me Hardcore Homecoming and his biography where he talked about stabbing a guy 9 times. I remember that. But
Mm.
yeah, it was very nice of him. He autographed both and he sent it to me in the mail for free. I was like very shocked he did that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, you were saying some complimentary things to him, and he was very very flattered by that, and decided he was going to gift you with those signed DVDs.
Yeah. I mean, he could have just showed up and or it just could have been a
Yeah,
stranger and just like stab everybody. It's like. But that was the cool thing. Like I just still remember as a kid, like that happened. And it's hard to prove, obviously, because I don't have pictures of anything from it. But
you
yeah,
don't have
that's
the
pretty great.
DVDs anymore.
I don't. I used to have them in my old apartment. Long story short, I had a flood happen,
Ooh,
and that kind of destroyed like pretty much a lot of my things. So yeah. Uh,
one of my friends, he had his house caught on fire, and like there was
Oof.
smoke damage to so many of his video games and all of his clothes and stuff. And I donated a whole bunch of my stuff to him. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then like we would have conversations later, and he'd be like, "Oh, I used to have that game," and I go, "What happened to it?" My house caught on fire. Sorry, I forgot, even though I was there for it. Like I knew that it happened, but he'd have to keep on reminding me. He'd be like, "Oh man, I used
That's
to have
great.
that book." I'm like, "Oh man, where is it? What happened to it?" My house caught on fire.
Yeah, it's hard to bring up because I mean, obviously you don't know, so it's fine, but it's always hard to bring up like that happening because then just like I try to minimize the way it sounds of compared to how bad it really was. But
Well, I
yeah.
mean, you probably lost a lot of your belongings, man. Like that
Oh,
stuff that was probably very sentimental to you, like that.
yeah,
That.
everything, honestly. Yeah, no, it was Hurricane Ida happened
Mm.
and it was like a freak flood. I was sleeping, and I woke up and noticed like water rushing in, and then just like grabbed certain things, but then went upstairs, and then the door. It was a basement apartment, also, so that doesn't help. And then the door just broke in, and all the water started rushing in. So luckily, I got out before that. But it was like next day, let me check the apartment, see how bad it is. Yeah, 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 everything's garbage.
Wow.
And it was just like, all right, well, gotta find a new place to live, start over.
What city were you living in at that point?
I was living in Bayside, Queens.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so they're kind of notorious for basement apartments, but
Mm.
also at the same time, most of them were safe-ish. This was just a freak storm that nobody expected to happen that bad. There's been,
Well, it is by the bay. It's in the name.
yeah, well, yeah, it's
Shut
kind of like
up.
in, yeah, it's the Bayside, like part of like a whole part of Flushing.
Mm.
Um, and that area is known for those kind of apartments more. So like certain areas where it was like hilly, like unfortunately like where I lived, I was near an intersection where everything went down to that intersection.
Damn.
So when that rain came in, all the water not only clogged the sewers, but everything just rushed towards that intersection, like maybe 5, 6 feet high. Yeah, and then like over time, everything like seeped down when it stopped raining. But the damage was done. So
Damn, man.
yeah, life be like that sometimes. Sometimes you need a flood to start over.
So estimated like amount of damages? What was the cost? Did you get any insurance off of that, or was it was just a total loss?
No, total loss. I didn't know you could get renter's insurance, but also at the same time, I don't know if it would qualify for that kind of apartment. Um, I think my landlord at the time did try to do the FEMA thing, and she decided, or she told me at the time, like it just never panned out. So, and that was it. But luckily, a friend of mine at the time started a GoFundMe for me, and raised enough money to like replace things, which was
Hmm.
nice because I wasn't really expecting that. So,
That's very nice.
um,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like you move somewhere else, you're good. So,
Yeah. So,
mhm,
so with the GoFundMe, you were able to get a new place and then replace on top of that, replace what you had lost.
pretty
Like not
much.
besides like what's irreplaceable, with the meaning behind things, but as
Yeah.
far as what the essentials that you would need.
Yeah, I replaced what I needed and the stuff that I had, and then the rest of it I just threw into savings for the day I move into an apartment again. Which right now I'm currently in Bushwick with roommates,
Hmm.
and we're fine. We're jamming out. We're having fun. I'd like to eventually, get an apartment again, but it's really hard nowadays. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's everything's expensive.
yeah. The price of everything continues to go up, and
Hmm.
the cost of living goes up, and the
Yep.
amount that you're paid is the same.
Yep.
Like you're
Nothing,
not.
nothing changes. Even everyone asking you for money has gone up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Also, it's like
People
the
have no
minimum
shame.
is, yeah. I mean, understandably so. People are very desperate right now, but also it's wild to hear. When you're younger, you hear like $1 or whatever. Now I hear five. I've heard
Right.
five a few times. I was like, holy shit. Um, yeah. Hopefully things turn around. We'll see.
I I had I had a homeless guy outside of the Helium Comedy Club in
Hmm.
Philly ask me for $7 for. He said, it's for a soda and a slice of pizza at this pizza place. You can walk with me to the place, and I'll prove to you that I'm getting that." And I was like, "I don't have to. I only have this $5, and that's what I can give you." And I gave it to him, and then he said, but I did say $7 for the pizza and the soda, and I was like, all right, I could have given you nothing. Uh, I didn't know beggars can be choosers, but apparently you can.
Hmm. Oh boy, there's a story actually 2 weeks ago that happened to me. I was in a pizzeria and I had my headphones on, and I was like one of those weeks where like you're just broke for the week, right?
Hmm.
Whatever it is, what it is. So I'm having pizza for lunch because that was like the money I had, and I think somebody asked me for cash, and I wasn't paying attention. I don't carry cash ever, so I was like, oh, I don't have, sorry. And then someone behind me was like, "Hey, do you want pizza? Do you want a slice or whatever?" And he was like, "Yeah, please, thank you." And then I felt like an asshole
Hmm.
because like I didn't think of that at the time, nor did I know what was going on.
You
And then I
gotta
just I just
remove
looked like
yourself
a
personally.
dick. Yeah, I was
You
just like, I don't know.
remove yourself personally from that. It's not about because they would just go right on to the next person. Like they go, it's like playing the numbers. Really, like
Yeah,
this is what I say. Like lots of ugly people hit on lots of attractive people because one attractive person said okay, so they're gonna ask every. They're gonna like hit on every attractive person they see, every ugly person they see too, because eventually someone's gonna say yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's me.
It's,
I'm the ugly person.
yeah, I was trying to be nice, not say no. I'm kidding. I wouldn't necessarily call you an ugly person at all.
Thank you.
There, there would not be the words out of my mouth at all. No, I'd
I
say
appreciate that.
you're a friendly fella.
I
Yeah,
appreciate that. Thank you. Same as you.
yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, and not ugly.
Thank God. There's a
This
lot
would be
of
awkward if I was uggo.
yeah. I mean, you've been around wrestling. There's a lot of ugly.
Mhm. Yeah,
I'm not even gonna say it, but I've smelled, I've tasted. Unfortunately,
I think there's a level of there has been kind of like in the there's been massaged into the clay that is pro wrestling
hmm
creeps and weirdos real hard, and
oh yeah,
and it seemed like at a time it used to be protected from that. There used to
hmm
be more of like a sussing out of those kind of people getting involved in the business, and like you had to have a certain merit and you had to have like certain abilities, and people just at a certain point just went like, oh, this guy's got money and they're going to pay me to be involved, so I'll let them be involved. um,
yeah,
so like that kind of trickled down through all of the independent scene and then all of the major leagues, and and it's just a it's in motion, you know what I mean? It won't stop.
hmm
You
yeah.
can't stop.
There's been quite a few creepos in wrestling that I've seen get yeah. There was a guy who liked to
Exposed, um,
yeah.
speaking out. Yeah,
hmm
yeah, that's happened. I mean, that was another big part of COVID was like people getting exposed for what they were. You know what I mean?
yeah.
As far as like that, what I'm curious about, what are people still getting away with that we don't know about in wrestling? Because
I
like
don't know.
it hasn't stopped. It hasn't, like it's just not public right now. But
I mean, yeah.
what are all these NDAs that are happening in AEW? What's all that about? What could that be? I mean, I'm not throwing any accusations anywhere, but I'm saying like uh, that was a can of worms that they shoved all the worms back in.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like with that, I don't know what's with them, but yeah, there's just a lot of people that I mean, I've noticed they don't want to say anything. Like the whole thing that I kind of get annoyed with is because it's like if you want things to change, you're gonna have to say something. But majority of the time, you hear people who know about things, and then they'll say like, "Oh, I don't want to get involved. I just want to do my job. I just want to have fun at the show. I don't
It's
want to get
it's because
involved."
it's because jobs are so few and far between in pro wrestling. Like
Yeah.
you being able to get a job and keep a job is a
hmm
whole process in itself. So it's not just getting the job; it's then getting the job and then keeping the job.
Yeah.
Uh, like the fact that like people, and this is a word I've been currently using, and just to friends. I'm not saying it publicly, but I'm saying it publicly right now for the first time.
yeah.
A lot of people shutting their mouths, like, and not speaking up about what maybe doesn't make sense because
hmm
they want to protect their spot. They're blessed enough to have that spot that they've got to protect it. It's a lot of uh, butt sucking, a lot of people sucking on butts,
Oh yeah.
and that's not like I'm the type where I'm gonna go like, well, that maybe that doesn't make sense. Maybe let's talk about it. Let's make it make sense. Like I'm not gonna tell you no. That I'm
hmm
not going to say no. Let's not do that. I'm going to say here. Let's do something that's better because that makes more sense. As far as like
Yeah.
I'm somebody who has an expertise in storytelling. I've been doing this for my whole life, so I'm not a source that isn't educated on what's going to be over and what's not. So
Yeah.
it's it's a weird
I
level of like people not having balls, not
Yeah,
having a back.
no, I agree. Comedy and wrestling are similar in those aspects because you see it in comedy as well. Wrestling is more blatant, I feel. You have very shady people from all walks of everywhere when it comes to ring people, promoters, even fans. Freaking the ring people, you probably might know who I'm talking about. But anyways, um, yeah, it's
Uh,
just it's very more blatant. We don't have to get into
no, what you're talking
that. I'll tell you after. Um,
about.
but like it's so blatant and it sucks. And I feel like the reason is because, like you said, not only like this losing that spot, but like the economy is bad. So like to lose any form of income just for raising your mouth, like the just speaking up is a no no. Like that's why a lot of people are like, I just want to stay out of it. I don't want to get involved. But then like, how long are you gonna let promoters not pay people how and make themselves fly in? And the fans don't know that that's going on. How long are you gonna put up with incidents that happen, and then you bring it up to the person that's in charge, and then they're like, I don't want to get involved, just I'm not in charge, and stuff like that. Or people getting involved in other people's businesses because, and
It's the perception of it, because
yeah,
once you say something, once you expose something for what it is, then
hmm,
you're seen as a troublemaker. You're seen as a
yep,
problematic, like, disturber of
yeah,
things. When it's like, no, this thing was trouble. This thing was disturbing, and I called it out. Like, let's have each other's backs on this.
yeah. I think everyone's scared. So you have one or two people speaking up, and then everybody else is just like, no. Then that's not how it works. You need everybody to. If you want change in the environment you're in, you sometimes you have to do something ballsy. And unfortunately, in wrestling, there's rarely anyone that has balls. If that's the only time I'll say wrestling is fake, because of shit like that.
People are phony,
And
because
yeah,
the people are the wrestling business
exactly.
hurts. It's not fake, but the people within it are phonies, and
Yes.
they're gonna babyface you. That's where the word babyfacing comes from. They're gonna
Yep.
babyface me. Oh, that's a great idea. Oh yeah, I like that. And it's
Hmm.
like, really, you don't. You're just saying that because you think that's protecting your spot. Like, that's
Yeah.
some, like, CYA stuff, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not.
Exactly. I won't get into a situation I was in recently, but you want to hear a fun rumor that was kind of put out there about me?
Oh yeah, of
Um, Yeah,
course I
podcast exclusive. So there's a thing going around that me and a friend were removed and kicked out of homecoming in Atlantic City, which
do.
is pretty funny. Yeah,
You were.
that was pretty great. No, because like everyone who's heard it that knows me, they're like, "You?"
Mhm.
So like I don't have to sell it. I don't have to say anything, you know.
Right.
So and I haven't
Did
really
you
talked to.
did you see the unsigned thing? Did you see the Matt Cardona documentary? He made like an episode of unfake. What is it? The show Unreal, like the Netflix show Unreal. He made his own episode.
Oh, really? No, I
Yeah,
haven't seen it.
it's
Yeah,
it's, it's rad, dude. I like it. It
yeah.
revolves around the Atlantic City homecoming thing. Yeah.
Oh, wow. From this
What
this past weekend?
I don't know when that was. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
no, because I
I
was
don't follow.
there.
I don't follow that product very much.
Yeah.
I think
I
I think
was.
Who, real quick, let me say, because it just
Yeah.
popped into my head. Uh, One reason why I might not get ever booked in GCW is because once I called Brett Lauderdale a stooge, and I think it's true still. uh, and
if if people keep saying it, anyways, but
when
yeah,
someone calls me up and they, oh, hi, and they talk to me like they're all happy to talk to me, and it's really to
yeah.
then ask me a question for somebody else about something else that I don't really have anything to do with, and then you
Yeah.
go, okay, fine, and hang up on me. You
Hmm.
just proved it. Probably.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and and you know, there's just there's just so many situations in wrestling where uh, there's going to be people there who have had. If you ask around about me in the wrestling business, you're
Hmm.
not going to find a lot of people who have anything negative to say. The only people who are going to have anything negative to say are the people who have something that negative. They're the people who have something negative to say about everybody and anybody.
Right. That's how it usually
I,
works. Yeah.
I've been a professional, and I've been a standard in professionalism as far as like showing up with real gear and like real training and like showing people how to be over. Like I've been doing that since I was still a teenager. I'm not.
Hmm.
I, I'm in my 40s now. like
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not complaining. I don't have anybody to complain to or complain about. I don't think that the business owes me anything at all. I really am
Hmm.
happy that the wrestling business, for better or worse, has made me the dude I am now, and I love me so bad. Like I'm
Yeah.
not, I have no complaints about that, and I don't think that I'm owed anything. But like, it would be nice to like be a wrestler for a living, instead,
Hmm.
instead of like working these Joe jobs. I'm Wayne Campbell in the beginning of Wayne's World, and he's like, I've worked a number of Joe jobs. I've got a collection of hair hair nets and name tags, and then he points to the wall, and it's all name tags. And look, I got the name tag here.
Nice.
I got all my Joe jobs. I got name tags for.
I love that. That's great. Yeah, no, yeah, no, it was, like something, somebody, I had a few people call me, yo, were you kicked out? I was like, what? You know?
What was what was the accusation? What was the thing that they are claiming you did?
So for what I've heard, they're just saying I was kicked out, and then they took a screenshot from a Facebook post I made, saying this is proof he was kicked out, and my friend as well. And the screenshot was me checking into Oceans because it's a nicer hotel that I've told people for months that I was like, I can't wait to stay here instead of Showboat because Showboat's awful. Like, but it has its own charm, but it's gross. So I was like, this is my birthday weekend. I'm gonna do something nice, and I stayed at Oceans. So I checked in on Friday, and that was when I made the post. But apparently, that they were trying to use that screenshot, and like that was proof. But I'm like, look at the date. Um,
I mean, do you know
so
how like it's walking distance? It's not like
yeah,
like
it's so weird. But yeah, no, it was just
wrestled at Showboat a couple times, but not for GCW. I don't think that's going to ever happen.
yeah, never say never. It might be a new owner. You never know. But whatchamacallit? Yeah, it was just a rumor saying we were kicked out for our behavior. Meanwhile, what really happened was we confronted someone. They ran away. They tried to talk. They mouthed off while their voices breaking and running away type thing. And it was just, we were asked, like, hey, can you just chill out and enjoy the rest of the show? And we're like, honestly, we're just going to go to the bar, you know? And that was
Mhm.
it. Because I don't think you could stay there after, like, arguing with somebody. It's like, and then honestly, like, we didn't really care much about the show to begin with. We were just going to pop in for a little bit and leave. And like, this is not trying to sound like shitting on them a lot, but like I felt like they haven't really been great for a while. So like it was just like let's go and check for a little bit, hang out, and then leave. So then when that happened, we were like, let's just go to the bar. And that was it. That's what
Yeah.
happened. So
So did they do a Back to the Future gimmick with Matt Cardona at this weekend's thing, or was that
yes.
okay? So then that was the one that was on his documentary.
Okay, yeah. I
Mhm.
should have done that documentary. It was an interesting weekend. No, no, it was. I got to check out the show for 15 minutes.
Mhm.
So it was a good 15 minutes from what I remember.
It was
And
like
yeah, honest,
the Shotzi Blackheart and Zack Ryder
yeah,
match, or
and the whole
Matt
thing with yeah, and Cross coming out and everything, that was pretty cool. Um,
Nick
and
Gage on
yeah,
that. Hmm.
he was
Cool.
on that well. Jimmy Lloyd was there. Yeah, it was a good time. And then after 20 minutes into it, we are like, all right. That was kind of, I mean, to be honest, like, I felt like that was the best part of the show. It was like the beginning, so that was
Cool.
it. Then we left.
What was it? Was it a thing where you like bought a ticket and the security gave you a hard time about fighting with somebody? Is that what you're?
No, we were invited. Um, and not to get into it too much, but basically, we saw someone that was known to say a lot of awful things on the internet about said person.
Mm,
So they decided I'm not gonna just watch him walking around. I'm gonna confront him. So it was in the hallway. It wasn't even in the showroom. So
mm.
they went outside to confront them, and that was it. Not like to like hit them or anything. Just a little bit
So
like, hey, like I don't like the things you said about me. So
where the ring is set up now is a different area than when it used to be in like with the showroom, right? Like they changed that.
yeah, it's in the terminal, which is like their garage of
Yeah,
the
that's what.
building. Um, Honestly, I was there for June for TOS, and I didn't like it that weekend, and I didn't like it when I came back. Like I'm just not a fan. It's for me, Carousel Room was more fun. It was a lot better. It was different. It looked different for a wrestling show. More comfortable, to be honest with you. TOS weekend, I remember. I don't know what happened, but it was so hot in there. It was like everything was sweaty and like the floor was sweaty, the pillars were sweaty. I think if you watch one of the matches, one of the wrestlers during their entrance they fell, and I
Mm.
think it was because of how wet the floor was. It was pretty. It was so
Well, I've wrestled in both of those for different events. Like they,
yeah,
like I do like Comic Con type events, like and they do cosplay pro wrestling on these events, and they'll like set a ring up in Atlantic City, and those different venues in Atlantic City, and one of them was in that like concourse area, and one was like in the what's that place called, the carousel.
yeah,
Yeah, and uh, like the one that was that concourse area, it looked very like fan expo. It looked very like Comic Con sort of thing,
yeah,
as
hmm
opposed to like looking like a fun wrestling place like
yeah.
that other.
Also, like I guess like the background and all, like the way you watch it on just TV. For me, it's just not. I don't know. It's just yeah, I was already like, I don't know if I'll like it. And then when I went there once, I didn't like it that weekend, and then I didn't like it when I went again. I was like, I'm good unless they do like the outdoor thing, I'd go to that. But
Mhm.
there's a couple times they ran outdoors on the pier, which is pretty fun. That's a good
Mhm.
time. But
Well, doesn't
yeah,
CCW run an AC now too?
I believe so. They have a totally different venue,
Yeah, it's
uh, like a
studio or something.
studio. Hmm.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
been
I've
there, but
Me neither. I like to go. I probably will go the next time they do it. Might be a plan. I don't know. Maybe we can meet up and hang out over there. I would go to
maybe that,
that.
maybe
Yeah.
that. I
Hmm.
just I remember when they were talking about running shows there because the lawyer woman, the CCW's lawyer woman, and
Hmm.
and and DJ were talking about it the one time when I was hanging out there. So I mean, I I saw them post about it once, but I never actually was there or anything. Like
Yeah.
that's the funny thing about it is like and one more time, going back to like not being a bitter guy about it. I'm constantly growing and I'm constantly evolving and I'm constantly doing so many other things that this is not a thing that I like sit on and be upset about. But I really was for a very long time in my life. I started in CZW. Um, my my first match was in 2002 in CZW,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a CZW guy trained by CZW.
Mm.
And then I guess it was 2006 or something. I got forced out, and then they like really kind of erased me from their history, and they
Mm.
acted like I wasn't like they did the alumni page and I wasn't on it, and
Yeah.
like they just kind of like I didn't disgrace anybody, I didn't hurt anybody, I didn't do anything wrong. Like
Mm-hmm.
they just kind of did a whisper campaign on me, like I didn't exist, like they shadow banned my existence, and
Mm.
and uh, and like still and this is the weirdest thing is like I went back and I did dojo wars like 10 years ago when
Mm-hmm.
Gulak was still there, and and uh and DJ they did this whole like meeting before the show, and DJ was like, everybody here who knows Cory Kastle, and everybody's hand went up and he went, how many people here know that Cory Kastle is a CCW original, he came from here, and nobody knew.
Mm.
Like, yeah,
Wow.
he and I'm like, you're a little responsible for that, you know, like, but then he goes, everybody go up and ask him questions, ask him to watch your match, listen to his advice. Like
Mm-hmm.
the dues that I've paid have been beyond those walls, and
Mm-hmm.
it it's a weird thing that I like. I just and the fact that they exist now and don't call me up and ask me to come be talent or come ask me to like lead them in some way, it's it's so weird. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
like I show up and like I'll not to say I don't go to their events. I don't go show up and ask to get booked. But I'm saying like I'll go train at the school here and there, and like I'm arms wide open. Like I've done a couple things down at the CZW school, um, but
Nice.
when it comes to like, like, are we just gonna like revisionist history? I get it. Like I did not contribute a lot to CZW when it was a thing because I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was very much a young child at the time, but I've grown up. I'm an adult now. I'm a man now. That's not who I was anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
the fact that like I have this platform, I have this marketability, I have an acting portfolio, I have all this. I could be such an asset, and I'm just kind of treated like they're a bigger deal than me.
Mm. I don't know. I think we should both show up to one of their shows next time coming up and just hang out and see what happens. You never know. I feel like a lot of times, like it's just a show face thing.
Uh-huh.
Um, and sometimes it could be that, but then sometimes it could just be like, "Oh, hey, good to see you at the show." Like, yeah, yeah, we'll talk soon, and then they'll just remember you, you know? Because I've also sometimes like have done things where like I thought maybe this was the reason, or like you never know until you go, I guess. So yeah, this is me trying to ask you if you want to go hang out at the next show at
Yeah,
the studio.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'm definitely down to go for sure.
So, can I ask, what is your like family dynamic? Did you grow up with both parents, siblings? How'd that go? Was it like a religious bringing?
Not religious. Just mom. Grew up with two older sisters and a younger brother in Bushwick. Um, so we weren't that religious. I mean, until fifth grade, maybe we're going to Sunday school for, being Catholic technically. And then there was a certain age where it was like, well, you could still go or you'd want. It's not up to you. And yeah, so I definitely did. I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever gotten to fights at Sunday school. And I'm not talking about like Catholic school, like you go for first, I'm talking about just like the one Sunday seasonal you would go, and I got into like two fist fights there, which is crazy.
Mhm.
Unless that's normal. I don't know. But yeah.
I don't know. I
Um
went to Catholic school
yeah.
up until fourth grade. So
Yeah. I'll say it's
then
more of a Sunday school than Catholic school. Because it
right.
wasn't all year round. Wasn't even it was more than just the summer.
I
Uh
thought it was called CCD when they would do like the courses so that like you can get your
like
what do they call it?
confirmation.
Like your communion, your confirmation, like
Yeah.
your what do they call those sacraments? So
Hmm.
your sacraments.
Yeah, I did the two mandatory ones, and that was it. And then I just fell out of it. I don't even remember like how I did it. I have a fun photo of when my sister did it, and we're with I guess the priest, and she has her garb, and then I'm on the right, all black. Like it's pretty great. All black, look like child Satan, just smiling, like
There's a there's a photo from when my first Holy Communion that it
hmm
was like I was up at the the priest is giving the host and he's like looking down, but like his like somehow the photo lined up perfectly with the stained glass window that makes him look like he's got a man bun.
hmm
And man buns didn't exist yet.
That's great. Yeah, hell
But
yeah.
that photo still exists somewhere. The mini ponytail on the priest. First Holy Communion.
I love that. What about you? Same thing? Catholic?
Yeah, I mean Catholic. Like I said, Catholic up until fourth grade,
Yeah.
and then I was in public school, because it was Catholic school in the city. I lived in the city of Philadelphia, and
Yep.
then my mom was like, "Oh, we're going to put you in the public school in the suburbs," so that I got put
hmm
in the suburbs public school. We're the brokest kids, like the like the it was like a richer neighborhood, and we were just scraping by,
hmm
hanging out with all suburban rich kids and having a single mom, just like you did,
Yeah.
having a single mom and two siblings.
hmm
And
Yeah. I well, it's funny is I think I stopped going when the NWO Wolfpack became a thing.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I wore my NWO shirt to Sunday school, and then they were like, "You can't wear that. You have to go home." I was like, "What?" Like,
don't
apparently, it
turn
looked
your
too demonic. Yeah, like, why would you do that? You get, But I was like, whatever, wrestling's cooler anyway. So yeah, so I stopped going.
What's funny, man, and like I think this is the thing I've said on here a bunch of times, and I'll continue to
hmm
say it. I think pro wrestling is the closest thing that I have to religion in my adult life. Like this is why I beat the drum. Like when I go to the ring, I take the drum with me. That's why I do it before the
hmm
podcast because it's sacred to me. It's like a religious uh, uh, ceremony,
hmm
to to go like this is my church, and
Yeah.
I I'd say like pro wrestling's a little bit that, but I mean also like it's a relationship with spirit and with God, and it's like kind of like being in touch with the great creator of it all. That
hmm
that sort of thing. But I mean, like people are free to think that there's nothing. I think I'm a little bit of that. I have a little bit of that agnostic thing to me where I'm like, oh, this is all great, and it's all the great spirit, and it's all the creation, and then I go, or it's nothing.
Yeah.
I, I just
Uh, I think wrestling could be its own religion in a way because there's unlike comedy, there are things. I feel like there's more things in wrestling that you know what to do and not do, and you just don't speak about it. Like certain things, like obviously, like having like I know one thing is like obviously being on your phone in the locker room. Like that's no, I've never seen anyone do that. And if you do, you're kind of a weirdo for that because, like, you know, that's kind of like keep that to whoever's in there type deal, you know.
Right.
And to be on your phone is kind of a little. I mean, to me, it's a little sus. I could be wrong, but that's one thing that's like, don't ever, don't do that.
It's just
If you're
etiquette.
there,
It's
yeah.
just
hmm But I feel like
I
that's even broken sometimes. So,
right for sure. I
mhm.
mean, dude, people are addicted to their phones.
Mhm.
Really, like you just can't break that addiction. People need their screen time. It's like,
Yeah.
uh, I guess there's these the phones have been like a itch for every scratch, a scratch for every itch kind of thing. It's like the I've challenged myself, and please take this if you can do it too. If you're like watching something, or if you're seeing somebody and you're like, I know that guy from somewhere, instead of looking it up right away, I'll think about it really hard and try to figure it out before I decide to look it up. The same with like trying to Google things. Like if I'm trying to remember something, I'll just try really hard for a really long time. And if like I can't live with the fact that I can't figure it out, I'll give it like 40 minutes before I ever decide to look it up.
Mhm. Right.
Because like it's okay to just be unknown. Like sometimes, like let's pretend the internet gets wiped out and we're not going to have access to all that information at any moment.
Mhm.
I've been saying I want to downgrade to a flip phone when I'm walking around, like when I'm out in public, and just have the smartphone when I'm here, so
I've
I
been
can pull
saying that too. Yeah. Um, Man, I would love that, and I never do it. And I totally could have had a chance, but then I upgraded my phone recently, so yeah, because I love times where, bless you, I have times where I hang out with my friends and I don't go on my phones at all, or like say if I hang out with one of my friends and like we're barely on our phones because we're having a good weekend or whatever, and you're just
yeah,
away from all that stuff. And it's like, man, I wish I could do that a lot more. God,
yeah.
flip phone would be great for that, but then the texting would be terrible. Like just
Text
type
would
in
be
the
on
let. Yeah.
T9 mode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think adapting is okay. I can adapt.
Yeah.
I adapted from that to this. I can adapt the other way around. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think, and Alyssa and I were just talking about maybe just having like a lockbox or something that we put our phones into for like a certain amount of time in the day. But then we also have to rely on it for like waking us up in the morning, or like these certain like reminders that we
Yeah.
box for.
Mm-hmm.
But like now, my battery completely died. But I wear a watch now, so like I can, I don't need for the time to look at the time all the time.
Right. Yeah, and then especially if you get like notifications on your phone, and you could just be like, all right, that popped up, but I'm not gonna sit there and like scroll or just stay on it for a while, which is
We
kind of
gotta
nice.
come up with if you this is a weird thing. All right, I'm gonna try to make this into a game. So
Okay.
I did a clip once where I said, "Hey Siri," and then I said, my phone just lit up.
Yeah.
Hey, play the Little River Band, the Lonesome Loser. That was the song I decided to shout out for Siri to play. Um, if you were to scream out a song, uh, now you can shout it out, and then whoever's listening, maybe my phone might do it. You say for my phone's Siri to play a song and see if it plays.
Okay. Hey Siri, play Hot Dog by Limp Bizkit. No, now my phone's playing it. Uh-oh.
My phone's not playing it.
Oh, it didn't work?
No.
No. I think it's because sorry, I just had a notification pop up. I think it's because it just listens to your voice only. It's loyal.
Hey Siri, play Hot Dog by Limp Bizkit. And your phone's doing it. Hot Dog by Limp Bizkit on Amazon Music.
That's great. Yeah, no, my phone lit up. I got the. You changed your voice too. Yeah, I got the Australian. I picked that one, so it's
So
pretty
well, say
nice.
we could make a clip out of that and put that online and see whose phones go off. If your phone's Siri did play "Hot Dog" by Limp Bizkit, leave it in the comments and
Hmm.
say yeah, like in your best friend Durst.
Yeah, and type out the lyrics too.
I don't know that song.
Oh, let's
Maybe
you
maybe
find
I
out
should have
later.
let Siri continue playing it. And
No, you don't want to. You don't want to. Trust
yeah,
me.
copyright strike.
Yeah.
Have you gotten any copyright strikes on like YouTube or any of the platforms? Because they're real.
Not so, no, not on YouTube. I mean, yeah, actually, like Twitch a few times. I mean, I've gotten a cease and desist by WWE one time. Technically, it wasn't towards me; it was towards the bar. We were doing watch parties. You
Okay.
know, God forbid we did a watch party at the bar. You know, but you
Mm,
know, technically, you're supposed to do it the right way. You're supposed to order it, do commercial if you're going to play it at a bar like that. And the watch parties we did were very brief, but they were very fun. They were kind of insane. The first one I remember, I did a prize giveaway, and then I had my buddy come, and he was doing a one man show at the time, and he was trying to give out like flyers for it to promote his show. And the reason why he was doing that at the wrestling watch party is because he's a writer for WWE Raw. So he was like, "Here's the proof," and he plays a clip where he did a thing or whatever, and he talks about his one man show, and he doesn't do it anymore right now, probably because they were starting to get onto him. But I don't know. Yeah, and I would also do weird posters because I liked, how like there would be rumors of like somebody being released and you think they're going to be signed. So I would
mm,
do like a poster of Penta, which look what happened. It came true. On a bad blood flyer. I don't know what I did. I put Kent. I put Okada on one. That was
oh, okay.
fun. Yeah, like it's ridiculous. And do like little promo videos pretending like that's the guy that's going to show up. Um, and we did one, and then I remember we were getting ready to do the Philly WrestleMania watch party. So I was doing the flyer for that, and then the venues were like, "Hey, let's pull down the event right now because we got a letter in the
Mm,
mail." I'm like, "Oh shit!" And yeah, they had to. I think the result that came out of that was they had to order a pay per view package. That was
mm.
it. Instead of paying like a big $10,000 fine. Yeah, which whatever.
I did get a not as prestigious as that, but I got a strike for hate speech on TikTok once because
Oh God.
I told a story and I made a clip out of it. I told a story to a friend on the podcast, and I said that I had a wrestling show. It was an independent wrestling show around Christmas time,
Yeah.
and I was on the show earlier in the show, and I had already been changed, and I went out in the crowd and I sat with my friend, and
Hmm.
Billy Gunn was on the show, and he came out wearing a Santa Claus hat,
Hmm.
and he said, "If you're not down with Santa Claus, I've got two words for you." And then he put the microphone out, and the crowd all said, "Suck it." Uh, and my friend who was with me happened to be Jewish, and he looked at me and he
Hmm.
goes, "I'm not down with Santa Claus. I guess Billy Gunn's telling me I can suck it."
Oh
and
God.
then he went, "Billy Gunn hates the Jews," and that got a hate speech strike
Oh
on
my
TikTok.
God. Yeah, TikTok's a little too sensitive with stuff like that. I got my first TikTok banned because of shit like that. It was like too many strikes or something like that. And then I was just trying to be funny. Like I was even like, because it was just fun to post on there, and like certain videos that if you're really good, they blow up like a lot, and it was kind of fun. But also, then you get a lot of people wanting to report. They find little things in the video that they could report it for. So it's like your video could catch up, and then it's taken out for something. And I remember one time I did a video. It was very stupid. It was like the exaggeration of what Christmas would look like in the city. And I did New York, and I was like, "Oh, this is Queens, this is Manhattan, this is Brooklyn." And then Brooklyn, I just showed somebody getting jumped, and that was it. And I thought it was funny, like it wasn't hurting anybody. It wasn't even that violent. And then that was the final straw, and they were like, "Yeah, you're banned from TikTok." And then I was like, "Okay," and I made another one. I was like, "Whatever."
Do you have any like go to like oh crap any like go to like conspiracy theories? Any conspiracy theories or like wild off the wall things that you like when you get stuck in a rabbit hole? What are the things that like pull you down into the rabbit hole?
Li- Like in wrestling or just anything in
Anything
general.
with anything in general.
Um, let's see. I damn, I can't. You know what's funny? I can't think of this right now, but I know I'm gonna do that tonight. You know what I mean? Like I know as soon as I get on my phone, then I'm gonna message you like, "Oh, this is what happened."
Dude, I
Damn it.
relate to that so much. Uh,
I'm
Give me
trying
some
to think of one
examples of
right
the
now.
rabbit hole that I get sucked into, and see if you have any knowledge on any of them. I
Okay.
very frequently get stuck in the rabbit hole of the Mandela effects. Uh, are you
Mm-hmm.
familiar with the Mandela effect?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of those I get top of my algorithm. Uh, the 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 NASA faking everything
Yeah.
is that pops up a lot in my
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and I go like, wonder what's in it for them to be faking. Like they're a $26 billion government funded program.
Mm-hmm.
What
Makes
what
sense.
what could be what could be going on?
Mm-hmm. I could get
Uh,
behind that actually. I will say, man, I feel like the a lot of the rabbit holes I'll go down is like if something recently happened in the news, and then all the videos come out and say this is fake. You know,
do
like
you ever get stuck in the 9/11 rabbit hole?
all the time, all the time. Those are fun. I saw 9/11 as a kid, uh, in person, from my high school window. It's a weird thing to say. I saw it. Yeah, not high school window, junior high school window. So anything 9/11, I watch all the time because there's a lot of interesting stuff about it that I will entertain in a way.
Will you entertain the fact that like it wasn't a plane? There wasn't planes. Do you
Uh,
have you heard that theory? I mean I don't have all the knowledge. I'm not an expert on these things, but like
mhm.
I've seen other videos where they're like there wasn't planes, there was explosions, uh, and then the video is showing that like the plane wing like disappeared behind a background like it was CGI and they messed it up. Have you ever?
Yeah, I saw those. The plane thing is kind of hard. The no plane thing is kind of hard to believe. I will say the thing about when they talk about the third building that fell, that
Yeah,
everyone's like, how the hell that one fell too? That one gets a little interesting. But
that's
yeah, I really like, fully filled in, like fell
stink.
into it. Yeah. I will say though, I get a lot of the videos where like, say if something happened in the news, then there's videos popping up on my feed saying how it's fake and they're lying to you, and
Yeah,
this
like
person wasn't shot. It was
mm,
actually something else. I'm like, what? I
I
had
got
one today that was like that.
I got into that as well. Like
Yeah, I'm like, maybe interesting.
the guy moving near him who's like
Mm-hmm.
doing it's like doing some weird hand motions, and then there's like baseball.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's definitely questions unanswered, but
Hmm.
I try not to follow those too much because then it's just like it'll
You're
just take
finding
over my week.
finding that they're the theory behind like the media shows it to you before it happens kind of thing. Like do you ever get into like the Simpsons predicted it rabbit holes?
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Those are my
That's
favorite
what's
because I love The Simpsons. Yeah, they've been on the money with everything, huh?
the crazy predictions that the Simpsons make. Um,
Hmm.
what else? Recently, there's the movie Snake Eyes. The 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 politician who gets shot in the neck. His name is Charlie Kirkman,
Uh huh.
and
Wow.
it's like takes place on September 10th, which is the day that Charlie Kirk got shot. And it also like the name of the fighter in the poster is like Tyler the Executioner, and that's the name
Mm.
of the guy who they're like pitting it on.
Oh wow. I
Yeah.
gotta look into this actually because that's the thing I definitely want to look into more. I
Hmm.
will say, we'll say, I'll say it later, but yeah, that's interesting.
Tell me what you find, and if you find anything that's interesting in it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, what I'm getting a lot of in my algorithms on YouTube recently are people like, here's facts that you didn't know about Back to the Future. Did you know that this happened in Back to the Future too?
Hmm.
I'm getting a lot of those pop up, and like those aren't any theories or anything. Those are just like informational factoids.
Yeah.
It's either like Back to the Future stuff, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff, or like maybe some Rick and Morty stuff.
Hmm.
Do you watch Rick and Morty?
Rick and Morty, I watched a little bit of. I've never really got behind it 100%, and I don't know why. It was just like I guess it caught like everyone caught on it before I did, and I didn't
Mhm.
really have. I wasn't really watching Adult Swim at the time, so yeah, like I do like it, but I should maybe reinvest time into it and try to, you know, I watched a
Here's what
few episodes.
I did
Hmm.
watch a few episodes, and I was like, all right. Like when people try to show it to me, they're like, oh, check it out, this you're gonna love this show, and I would
Yeah,
watch it. And, whatever. What
yeah.
I did was I went on my own time without somebody trying to hype it up. It didn't need a hype man. It was I downloaded the Adult Swim app on my TV, and then I went into marathons and I clicked
Hmm.
Rick and Morty and I just let episodes play,
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, these are so funny. Like because it felt to me when I first started watching it, it felt like if I watched one, I watched them all. Like
yeah.
and then when I did watch them all, I was like, now I know when this thing is this like, and I would just keep it on my TV marathoning through, and
Right.
I started to really enjoy it.
Mm. That was
But
like me with Archer.
yeah, I never got into that either. That's the
Hmm.
same thing. Too many hype men.
That's what's funny. I discovered Archer. I was lucky. It was like the same way. I discovered him on my own. This was when the first season was out only, and that was amazing. Like it's still the first season to me is like the funniest one. I haven't really. I watched some of the few newer ones, but there it's just not. It doesn't hit the same. It's like same repetitive, done over and over again. It was like that first season was perfect.
I think
Uh,
when Netflix was first a streaming service, is when I watched Archer,
yeah.
and I maybe watched whatever episodes were on that, and
Hmm.
then I did. I wasn't like uh, fiending for more. You know,
Yeah. Hmm.
what's a movie from your childhood that's like you would absolutely recommend that to somebody if they never saw it that you think would stand up?
The Mask.
The Mask.
Hmm. Has everything. Uh, the Stanley Ipkiss, the loser who just puts on the mask and comes as a dude. It was funny. Life lessons in there too. Hot Cameron Diaz. What
Mhm.
more could you want? You know, I would say
Left.
at two. I was a big Jim Carrey fan, so Ace Ventura would be another one also.
Well, that one doesn't stand up as much because it does all that trans stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's a yeah. You're right,
Holy
actually.
Testicle Tuesdays! Yeah,
Yeah,
it's. I don't know if that stands up as much.
yeah, especially the ending. Like, just yeah, no.
Finkel and
Uh,
Einhorn. No, Finkel is Einhorn.
yeah, the way he just went in the shower and just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
with the
all that.
plunger on his head.
Hmm. And
But
then they went to jail for being trans. I mean, it didn't seem like that in the movie. I mean, like, because he obviously got arrested for other things, but like, it was just like that was the reveal. You're going to jail now. Like kind of fucked up when you think about it.
for kidnapping Dan Marino and
Yeah. Hmm.
with the dude, a lady at work the other day introduced me to her dog, and her dog, she's like, this is Snowflake, meet Snowflake. And I said, that's not Snowflake. That's not Snowflake. And it was only funny to me, nobody else.
Oh man, good old Snowflake. Yeah, damn. I gotta watch that movie again just to cringe. That's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna.
don't chew big red gum the same anymore after you watch that movie.
No,
You gotta
definitely not.
you gotta
I
know how to. Like, that's none of
Yeah.
your business, Dan.
See, now that'd be a movie to watch and on an edible now, for sure. I have a fun edible story I want to share
Please,
this week from this
please,
weekend.
please, I think
I'm not really an edible guy. All right, once in a while I'll do 'em.
people can't eat
And
me.
yeah, um, I'm on the Wegovy shots. So one of the things they do is slow down your digestive system.
Uh-huh.
So this is the first time I took an edible while on this medication. So it made the edible like stronger,
Mhm.
and it was real bad. I got so high that I had a memory unlock, and I remembered all of a sudden for the first time in 30 years what my bedroom with my brother looked like when I was like 5.
Wow.
And I was just so blown away. I was like, holy shit, I remember in my head for detail. Like, this is insane. I haven't thought about this like memory in forever.
Mhm.
Then I thought about like what it looked like a year or two from then and what I was doing. And I was like, holy shit, like I'm remembering all these things that I haven't remembered in a while. This is crazy.
Wow.
Then I started thinking, don't they say like your life flashes before your eyes before you die?
So you thought you were
And,
dying.
and then I was like, I'm fucking dying. Oh no, stop thinking about this shit. Stop thinking about nice memories. And I try to think about like, I don't know, tits or I don't know. Just like stop, look at something else. And yeah, I was legit scared. I was like, no, this can't be it. Like, no, please don't. Yeah, but thankfully I woke up the next day, so
I have not done edibles in a very long time. See,
hmm
what happened was, like I was doing edibles, and then I started like vaping weed a lot, right?
uh-huh.
And then I started smoking flower, and I was
Hmm.
smoking flower a lot, like almost every day.
Yeah.
And 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 then edibles stopped working. And now at this point, I'd say I haven't smoked, I haven't been high, I haven't smoked weed, I haven't done anything since like
Hmm.
March or something, like
Nice.
February or March. Because what happened was, my my future wife, my fiance, uh,
Hmm.
she for her birthday, my brother-in-law, well, our brother-in-law now, I guess, he got her this big thing of marijuanas for her birthday, and she said,
Hmm.
as soon as we're done this, we're done. Cool, cool. We doing that? And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do it. So we just stopped, and we're just like, we don't need it.
Hmm.
So like, I wonder how edibles would hit me now.
You don't want to know. I mean, you don't know.
Stop
It's
your
you're better
goddamn. You
off.
know.
Yeah, I only did it because like I got offered and I didn't know until I tasted it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I forgot what it was. I was like, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
then again, I was like, that stuff always happens. I'm like, yeah, I don't like being too high. You know, I like a little bit, not too much. You know, I can't. It's a
I
lot.
st- started this tradition some years ago, and I don't know how strict I've been to it, but like
Hmm.
when New Year's comes on New Year's Eve, I take mushrooms.
Mm,
Uh, but I haven't been as strict with it, but I know that I started doing that probably 10 years ago.
nice. Are you
But
gonna do it this year?
I don't know. Who knows?
Mm,
Who even knows? I'm not. It's one of those things where like if I do it, I do it. If not, what ifs, kind of thing.
hmm.
That's
Right.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's
So
fine.
a big part of me starting this podcast was I like to have things that would be able to be on the record and have conversations with people where they're on the record. Like for example, like I started this when I was 33. I'm 41 now.
Hmm.
So like all that time, I could go back and listen to like a timestamp on who I was in that moment, and track the evolving of me. You know, like if someone has come across from episode one and they listen all the way up to which one is this 363.
63, I believe so.
So if they come all the if they go all the way through that, and if you haven't heard me evolve in any way, if you haven't heard me change in any way, which it'd be surprising. Like I
Hmm.
used to start out thinking that I wanted to write an autobiography. I wanted to start writing a book, but I was afraid that I would write the book, and then 10 years from now, someone reads it and they go, "Hey, you said this thing in the book, and I don't agree with that." I don't agree with it either. Like so, then I was like, "Oh, I'm going to start a podcast where I can change all the time.
Hmm.
I can evolve my ways of thinking on stuff and talk to people about like what inspires them and what life lessons they've had and things like that, and learn from them and grow from them. Um,
Hmm.
so what did you say? What would you say? Like this is because I definitely have had conversations with friends and people who've meant a lot to me, and the fact they're on the record is so important to me. Uh,
Hmm.
so on the record, I just wanted to tell you how excited I am about our connection and our new friendship. And I wanted to
Yeah.
make sure if I can be a resource for you in any way, like if you think that there's something that I might know that you don't know that you need to ask me about, please don't feel like any like weirdness about asking me things. Don't feel
Hmm.
any hesitation about asking me to be a resource for you in any way. And if you're ever
Hmm.
feeling alone, you're just feeling like you don't have any friends to have a judgment free conversation with, I'm always here. I'm always here. Don't ever feel like you can't reach out to me.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. The same back at you too, for sure.
So with that being said, was there anything that you'd like to ask me on the record, or any questions that you've got? We'll just pretend for a second this is your show.
Hmm.
Any questions or statements that you'd like to make to me, or questions you'd like to ask of me?
I'd like to ask you something, and I don't know if anyone's ever asked you this. What would you say you enjoy being a part of more, wrestling or comedy?
They're pretty equal. They're very
Yeah,
equal. Like I'd say, there's the pros and the cons of all of it. Like
yeah.
the the thing is, I know that I'm a good comedian, but I
Mm-hmm.
know that I'm a great wrestler. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a funny guy. I think I'm pretty likable. I'm pretty talented at the the comedy, but I'm not as
Mm-hmm.
confident in my comedy as I am in the fact that like I know that wrestling is in me. Like it is ingrained in who I am, and like I have the experience and the confidence level in pro wrestling that I don't have in comedy. But I
Mm-hmm.
do like in comedy that I don't have to change. I don't have to change my clothes. I don't have to put gear on. I don't have to warm up. I don't have to do anything, and nobody punches me in my face.
Yeah.
Like in comedy, nobody punches me. I mean, there's worlds where people do comedy and get punched in the face at the same time, but none of the clubs that I perform
Yeah.
at.
That's
um,
great.
I'm trying to. What else? What other like pros and cons and like in wrestling, the locker rooms always stink. In
Yeah.
comedy, the green rooms don't stink so much.
The
Um,
basements do.
the basements do, yes. Well, basements have a nature of smelliness.
Yeah.
Uh, um,
Yeah, I feel the same way. Because also, like, there's things that you learn in comedy that you don't learn in the wrestling, and you can translate that, especially like with me projecting my voice, learning how to talk, and being ready to talk. That's something that takes a minute. I feel like if you're just involved in wrestling only, it takes a while to learn that, like talking and public speaking, especially if you're like, I'm really bad at public speaking, and you got to learn how to do that. And then comedy, you're doing it every night. Um,
mhm.
and I feel like certain things with wrestling help with comedy as far as learning how to be entertaining and,
Like
especially like,
structuring out the pops. That's
yeah.
a completely like that was. I think in it's funny because comedy calls it pops now. That was all us. We were doing that forever. But
Hmm.
structuring out the set is the same as structuring out a match,
Hmm.
except for it's like two people.
Yeah.
But like when dude, dude, doing comedy has made me such a better promo in wrestling, and doing comedy has made me such a better like with the ability to structure things.
Hmm.
The way I looked at it and the way I've worded it before, and I've heard other people when I've said this go, I'm going to use that all the time now. Where I go like, think about a song. Think about a song that you like, and you're like,
Hmm.
when you're singing along to the song, and you're like, here's the part that this verse starts. That's the way I think about a match that I've called. I go,
Yeah.
and right after that happens, and this is when this like so. I
Yeah.
try to structure my sets and my matches and like everything with like a musician's ear, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah, same thing. Same thing with I feel like with wrestling, like for me, it's like you learn things to bring to the other thing, and then you learn things from there to same thing back. So it kind of makes you better doing both, and makes yeah, just makes you better at doing both, pretty much. And it helps big time.
In either thing,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be undeniable,
Yep.
and
Exactly.
that's all I ever want to do and all I ever want to be. And
Mm-hmm.
each of those things is all serving the other parts of it all. So like if
Mm-hmm.
I'm undeniable in pro wrestling, they'll go, "Oh, did you know that he also does comedy? Watch his comedy. He's undeniable in that." Now, oh,
Mm-hmm.
he has a podcast too. Oh, let's listen. Oh, undeniable in that. Oh, and he also acts and stuff. Oh, undeniable in that. So everything serves every other thing that I'm doing. Every other venture that I'm in is so
Mm-hmm.
not too far from all the other things. That's why like it's hard to when they go, "Oh, the best way to get a following is to have a niche." And I'm like, "I don't have one of those. I don't
Mm-hmm.
uh I don't know one gear. I don't know one thing." Like
I
that
mean,
might have been what's kept me working Joe jobs all this time while pursuing my other passions.
you kind of do have a niche in each. In comedy, you have wrestling, and in wrestling, you have comedy. When you think about it,
I guess.
yeah, it's a niche. Especially like to grow each other's thing. So you
Well, like I guess
100% do have a niche.
I guess because the niche is then podcasting. Podcasting that like meshes those things together
Mm-hmm.
in a way, but it also like muddies it up a little bit.
Right.
It
Yeah.
like makes it a little more confusing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very confident, and I don't mean that in a way that's like cocky, because like I know there is no other me. There is nobody else who's a pro wrestler who does comedy, who does either of those things as good as me. Like
Mm-hmm.
there are pro wrestlers who do comedy, but like they they don't have the experience level that I have in either of those things. And
Mm-hmm.
like I'm very confident that like if I keep hitting this drum, I keep hitting my drum, I keep doing my thing, and I continue to be undeniable, the people who are listening for those drums will go, "Do you hear that drum? Do you hear that drum?" And uh, I'm just gonna stay consistent with it. Is all I can do.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Uh, I had and I told this story a couple times. I don't know if I've ever told it on the podcast, but I had
Mm-hmm.
I had as a guest on the podcast many years ago before he was as famous as he is now. I had Mark Norman on the podcast,
Oh wow.
um, and episode 85 of the podcast was Mark Norman.
Nice.
And after the podcast was over, he asked me like what other kind of guests I've had on, anybody he would know, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, and I named a couple of the names, and he was like, "Oh, I know that. I know that guy. I know that guy." Like, because it was only like local to Philly people who were like getting up. Did you know Chris Cotton?
Yes, I remember the
Okay,
name. Mm-hmm.
so I told him I had Chris Cotton on, and he was like, "Oh, I know that fatty." Like, that's just the way he talks. But then I was like, I don't only have comedians on. I have like pro wrestlers on. I have authors on. I have all these like, and I said, I told him about a recent episode I had done at that time. I said I have this lady uh, who lives across the street from me. She's like in her 80s. She had like gastric bypass surgery when it was brand new and no one else was having it. And I wanted to like
Mm-hmm.
kind of get her take on like what the world treated her like as a fat person versus like what the world treated her like as a little skinny person. And like kind of
Yeah.
getting perspectives on like all her stories are just going to be gone once she's gone. All the record of her speaking is going to be gone. So I'd like to
Yeah.
have it. I'd like to have it on the record on my platform. And he looked at me and he was like, "You're the next Joe Rogan." And it's funny that he's a guy who's on Joe Rogan all the time now. To have called me the next Joe Rogan, and then
Mm-hmm.
I ran into him again, uh, and in New York. I went to Skankfest, and
Mm.
he was like talking with these women. And I walked by and he was like, "Yo!" And he like came over and he like hugged me and he's like introduced me to these women and he was like, "This guy's a pro wrestler. He's so cool." And like he was going off and like putting me over to these women. And then he was like, "Did you move to New York yet?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Well, why here?" And I was like, I got asked to be here. Like I'm just here. And and he was like, "Oh, it was great seeing you, man. Great seeing you." And then he left, and he's like, "See you Jews in hell," and rode off on his bicycle like he does. But it's funny that he was his level of belief in me has given me a little bit like a little more like, I'm convinced that this show is gonna blow up. I'm
Mm-hmm.
convinced that my audience is gonna find me. Like that's why I'm staying consistent. That's why I'm beating the drum. That's why I'm continuing to do all of the things that I do and not just
Yeah.
one of the things that I do.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for joining me on that journey.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's funny. I had a conversation with AI. I had a conversation with Chat GPT about it, um,
Really.
and they were like, "Just because your episodes don't have a lot of views now, doesn't mean that they aren't going to be bingeable when you pop. That people aren't going
Mm-hmm.
to go back and listen and get the whole." And I was like, I didn't even think of it that way. but it is everything on the record, and it is everything that it's a catalog of like where I was in my life and a timestamp of my life, and that's another part of a segment that I do that I like to call audio time travel. Okay, Josh. So 20 years in the future, say in 2045, the
Hmm.
people who love you the most, your siblings, your mom, your kids. Let's say you have kids by that point. Your kids stumble across this recording because everything's on the record. This may outlive us in a timestamp, very specific to here and now. What messages are you giving to your loved ones?
If they were listening to me and I'm talking to them right now,
Huh? And they're listening to the 2025 version, but they're listening to it in 2045. What do you say?
um, I'd be like, sorry. I don't really know. Just apologize for all like the dumb things I've done. I guess. Just why
I,
are they in the position they are because of me? No, I'm just very like I joke around. Like I'm just
I think it's very charming and unalarming, like and unarming to crowds to be self-deprecating. But I think
yeah.
like when it comes down to it, we really have to be more careful about how we actually speak to ourselves because I think you have
Hmm.
a lot of value, and I think you have a lot of experience and insight that you could really help a lot of people, and
Yeah.
uh, and it's easy because it can get you a laugh to like crap on yourself, but
Yeah.
like you got value, dude.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I was just I mean, if I were to say something, I would just give advice like that it like that took me a while to take, which is, stay in your lane and follow whatever passion it is you want to follow. And it's not a race, it's a marathon. And as long as you're doing all those things and you're loving it, you got everything in front of you.
uh,
So as far as a positive thing goes, yeah, 100%. I just like to joke around because I'm like, I always joke around saying like, I put them in financial trouble or something like that. I'm just like, I'm
it's a
so
really funny,
sorry.
like it's really a funny bit to think about. To be like,
Yeah.
well, you go- sorry,
Hmm. Yeah, my bad for that thing.
but
I know there's many things. Yeah.
do you, um, do you do any good impressions?
So I like to think I do a good John Madden.
Ooh,
And
okay, one I haven't
yeah,
heard.
do you remember him from back then? Like when
Of
he,
course, I know. Yes.
yeah, yeah. No, I ask because like a lot of people that are around me don't know who the hell he is, so I don't
Yeah,
even bother.
a lot of young people.
Yeah.
I think.
They're just like, what? I'm like, the video game. Where do you think the name comes from? Um,
But
but I used to love just doing his voice and just for the love of football, and just go throw the ball across the field and catch it and run all the way to the corner and that's a touchdown. I used to just love doing voices in general. I don't really do voices in stand up, but I do love doing them in private and with friends. But I guess it's because it's a whole nother beast to write a joke for the voice, you
yeah,
know?
it's a
So,
genre
yeah.
out of itself.
So,
I
hmm
I did one like I know lots of people had their Trump impressions and their like Trump jokes. I
hmm
used to do one and I stopped doing it very early on when he was like first running. Uh, I said that I've started to call him Forrest Trump because he wears a red hat and he just felt like running. And that's
hmm
the only Trump thing I ever did. I don't. It's not even. I don't even care about that kind of thing. But
hmm
most of the people who I ask that to, they always start doing a Donald Trump impression.
hmm
Uh, but I'll get back to that in a second. But the last thing I was going to ask you was
hmm
in a very Jerry Springer's final thought type of way. Let's say hypothetically, I've gifted you this show. This is the first episode of your brand new podcast, Evolving with Josh Alba. In a very Jerry Springer's final thought type of way, the most valuable takeaways, the most important life lessons that can inspire people to be a better version of themselves tomorrow. What do you tell them?
Mm, damn. I will say, um, man, this is really on the spot. I uh, honesty is best policy.
Did did you think any more of those conspiracy theories?
Did I think of any more of those?
Yeah, remember
No.
you said, I'll probably message you later with
Yeah,
once I.
because yeah, we probably can't talk much about them. I mean, you did touch on the one I want to talk about, but yeah, um, I have a whole thing, but I'll save that for myself and for you after we're done. So yeah.
Dude, do you stumble across and I don't want to get on a whole side tangent. I'll stop right after I'm done saying this next thing.
Hmm.
But this happens to me all the time. How often are you now stumbling across flat Earth conspiracy theories? Because
Um,
it's happening to me a lot lately.
I feel like it hasn't happened to me yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it starts happening more because the
Because
way
we're talking
everything is going,
about we're
yeah,
talking.
where everything,
The
yeah.
algorithm's listening to us talking.
Yeah, that too. But I feel like the way things are going with everyone, they're like, you know what? Maybe this thing that we said is not true for a while. Maybe it is true. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? Like, no, let's explore this. So I wouldn't be surprised if something like that starts popping up on my feed, especially right now. So
Dude, thank you so much. I say this all the time.
yeah.
The currency of your effort and your time is so valuable to me, and the fact that you've spent any of your time with me
Hmm.
is such an investment, and I appreciate it so much. That
Hmm.
the currency of your time and effort. If you're the first time listener, the first time watcher of Evolving, hit a like button, hit a subscribe, leave a comment, say something about the episode, talk about Fred Durst, talk about flat Earth, talk about talk about the Siri, talk about the algorithms, all that stuff. Shut up, Siri. And the way I ask, the way that I normally wrap it up is I'll then ask in your best John Madden. You could say the way we wrap the show up. We say, "Be fun, have safe, keep evolving."
Be fun, have safe, and keep evolving. How was that? Was that
Boom.
good?
That was
Boom!
good.
Top Athens enacted.
It's like, well, that's why we go to Ace Hardware.
Yeah, for your foot stuff. Oh,
Boom, Top Acton Tenactin.
that's great.
Available at all Wallbogs. Everybody, thanks for joining us, and I hope that we can connect and you know um, continue to be kind. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Be fun. Have safe.